Frisco, Frisco, big city of dreams and everything in San Fran ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, and you bet a parlay and these motherfuckers let you down. Fuck the San Francisco 49ers. Couldn't get the job done against a shit team and cost a lot of people money last night. And don't think I'm not red hot about it, as we have tech issues, allergies, and every other goddamn thing coming down on the Monday locker room. This is how you want to set it off? You want that real heel heat from Hacker Hamin? Well, keep fucking testing me. Yo! Yeah, man. As you can see, I'm in a wonderful Monday morning mood to kick this fucking show off with tech issues, with fucking gambling issues, with allergy issues. And thankfully, I got my shotgun rider, the number one ride or die Hacker Hamin spy. It's Ted, Dr. Gimmicks. So you might need to prescribe me something to bring me the fuck down here pretty quick here, Doc, because if it starts off and kicks off like this and keeps on going, somebody's going to get fucking $5 face slapped at Subway by the end of the day. I can feel it already. Good morning, pal.
Always glad to see you starting off in a good mood, Ben.
Always, dude.
Well, you know, the day's still young. Plenty of opportunity to have things either fuck up more and drive you more crazy until you're just fully there, or maybe things will get better along the way. Either way, I'm here in the trenches with you, my friend, as we dig deep into another week of pro wrestling.
I'm sure by the time I get to Raw tonight, that'll smooth me out and everything will be fine, and I'll be less emotional by then.
And then Raw will begin.
Yeah. And the bell rings. And then the bell rings, and then the bell rings. Good morning to you, though. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. YouTube, Ben Hamin channel. I see Ron Booth, Tables, Athers, and Chairs, Piers Austin, and Wrestling Redneck. All high-level affiliates in the house this morning. We see you guys. Cujo, YouTube, pal. Y'all, man. Kicking it off hot. I'll try and switch my mood. But, yeah, dude, I was killing it yesterday, and I still did well on, this new gambling thing I'm on, just small here and there. I hit a 10-pick parlay. I had a 9 and a 5-1 that would have paid out another $50 on like $2 bets. I get all the way to the fucking end, and the 49ers, who should have stomped the Eagles, just blew it out their ass. Dude, I really hope there's a big bus crash. They all get like something really bad happens to all of them, dude, for over the $39 they cost me. And they can legit all go fuck off with that mailed-in performance last night. So
that's San Francisco Heat.
Big time. Well, they're already on fire out there most of the time anyway. So Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them can all burn. I'm going to fire up the directed energy weapon later today and level the city. I think that's probably going to be my afternoon plans.
It is a pretty day for it.
It is. It's about time we level another California city just for fun. So, yeah, man, but it's going down. That's why I could never bet heavy, because over a $5 bet, that's how angry I get, ready to have your whole family eliminated from the face of the planet, and everybody and anything you ever loved goes with it as well. So when I want you to win, you better fucking win. That's goes to everybody. I don't care what sport you're in or whatever. Just put that message across the board. But yeah, man, we're gonna try and win it today. Win the internet as we go through all of the headlines, man. I do want to say a big shout out to RBV, man. Still dealing with a lot of his family's health issues, and where he needs to be positioned for them is obviously far more important than talking about some phony ass wrestling headlines. But brother, we're thinking about you, thinking about grandma and grandpa, and everything you're doing. So you take the time you need. HMG will be here unless I shut the whole thing down after the next 49ers game and just say fuck it all. But nah, man, we're all thinking about you, and anybody else who's kicking ass, man. MSG, obviously his big move to Denver, getting settled in. Colin Wysong with his new management gig, like everybody just leveling up. And I know, especially if you got little seeds and whatnot, that it's easy to say that you can get it all in, but life has a way of changing that. So all hands on deck all the time, Beast. But we're doing it real big out here. What else went down yesterday? We had NXT TakeOver, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Friday we had the UFC fights, which I did really great picking on that way, so I'm not too hot because I'm up, So yeah. I don't know. Sorry to start the day off with
that's all right.
Peter Hamin, but that's where I'm at right now. Good morning.
We also had Victory Road as well. Not that I don't think anything pertinent happened on the show that I can recall anyway. I don't think any big title changes happened, but it happened nonetheless.
There was a show and it happened, and it was a victory. Amp Williams in the house early morning as well. Fudge 420 doing that, doing all that shit. Spear Cross in here too. I see all you guys joining us live, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, YouTube. Glad to see the numbers up, record-breaking numbers on the Horseman last week live, post-debate or what have you. I'm sure this week we'll have more madness with all that bullshit as well. And the Trump COVID scandal, whatever the fuck they're doing that way. I didn't shave all weekend, so I got a nice cherry on my cheek from letting the fucking hairs go in, and now I'm just in a pleasant mood this morning. Everything's really hitting on all cylinders, but I'm glad you're here, dude. And hopefully we can make some big opportunities this week. Just put up the new Russo video, so we'll have 5 new videos up there. Russo's brand. Thank you to Man Beast for doing awesome thumbnails, as always, man, and all the production heads that we've got kicking ass over here at Hamin Media Group all the time, dude.
Absolutely. I've been having a lot of fun with it. To give a sneak preview for those that are just now watching, I'll show everyone right here. This was probably one of my favorite ones to make at the evil Vince McMahon with the American flag in the background. Shane Douglas shoots on the dismissal of the WWE concussion lawsuit. So be sure to check that out on the Russo brand YouTube page.
I turned on the Mark Merrill shoot today. I'll turn that one on tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But you won't miss it if you subscribe. See, I'm trying to get people.
We need those subs up there. We need them up at Hamin Media Group. So make sure you're going to YouTube, subscribing to Hamin Media Group. We had a great meeting yesterday. So more exclusive stuff coming out this month. Everybody pushing their limits and having a good time with it all. I appreciate all our content creators and everybody putting in that extra effort. Cage Theory guys had a big weekend, and Javid obviously with the betting as well. So, we're going to keep on keeping on, guys. There's no mercy. It's pedal to the metal. Last week was a big week. With ridiculous spots, a lot to critique. It just seems like we one step forward, 2 steps back. SmackDown was really great, and the numbers for Smack Attack are up with our new UK contingent, MacGyver and Old Athers as well. So want to highlight those guys and see what's going on over there. Tune into the Smack Attack, because really it was probably the best show in wrestling this week. Usually we say that about Impact, but nobody's watching 160,000. But this week's SmackDown, there was some very bright performances, more from obviously the Usos and Reigns, and also Alexa Bliss's performance was strikingly high level compared to what we've seen other ways. So can they string 2 weeks together? I don't I don't have much faith in that. I'm not going to get burned in that again. So, that's just how we're doing it. So
it's good that you can see that, because I feel like some people, when they review wrestling, get so jaded that even when WWE does things good, they don't even recognize it. But
sure,
you're not one that's ever sugarcoated your thoughts on the product, and so for you to openly say, no, this was good, this and put it over, I think is very telling. So I actually need to go back and check it out, if anything, because I don't usually watch regularly, but you've inspired me to go back and just watch the performances of how they did it on SmackDown.
Well, that's what a tribal chief does. He inspires his people.
You are my tribal chief.
That's why we do it. So, yeah, man, it was definitely a step up this week. So we'll put them over. The kids are trying, but at the same time, they're also undercutting themselves. Saw a lot on that fucking NXT TakeOver. Victory Road with Dreamer and Myers was good. I like that. Couple other things that I was back and forth on, overbooked a little bit, but when it comes to NXT last night, dude, we worked 3 matches, big matches. Even Velveteen Dream and Marty McFly said like they came out and worked an awesome arm heat, and the whole story was an arm story. The next match, come out and work arm heat, and then in the main event, they're working the same stomp arm heat, bro. And you and I were just like, I mean, to the fans, it might not mean much, but to you and I go, what the fuck? We would be fine, screamed at. The other performers would be heating on us. Rip would be heating on us. Danny would say, what's it fucking say on there? You don't do that, what you want to do. Like, I just cannot believe, after the Shotzy Blackheart shit earlier this week, that in this, with their top people in payoffs, we're working 3 fucking main event payoffs with arm heat in them. Everybody just looks like a goddamn idiot. And they all think they're over at such a high level of being stars, and they make year 2 mistakes.
I was gonna say it's an amateur mistake, even though it's not something people would necessarily catch. But like you said, the second time arm heat was worked on the same night, you would have had Rip or Danny backstage yelling, I don't want to see anyone touch a motherfucking arm the whole rest of the show. If you do, you're fucking fired. If you can't figure it out, you don't need to be working here. You know what I mean? It's like you got to learn to work and not do the same things that have already been done on the show. It's just we'll put over though. Well, I guess the main event they did work the arm heat, but I wish they would have worked the liver more, because that was an interesting turn of events that I liked. So it wasn't necessarily even needed to work into that match.
And I just don't get it, man, how this can keep going on. You got Sean and Hunter there, whatever, but I wasn't going to name names last week, and now I have to with the Sarah Del Rey, Sarah Amato, whatever. If she's the one agent at these women matches.
Yeah, she's still under contract, right? So she's probably the one that's still putting together the women's stuff down there.
That's the stooge I have. Bottom line is she's got to go. She's got to go. I'm sure she's nice enough, whatever. She had a job for a long time. The fact that this stuff is happening on TV in the girls' matches of what they're trying to do to each other, ridiculousness. I saw more with Io Shirai last night. Sit out, fucking tiger bomb, no sell right into the fucking next thing, bro. If that's your idea of agenting and you think that's smart wrestling, that shows that you've been an indie goof your whole fucking career and you really don't know. You just really don't know. At the end of the day, I'm sure she can out wrestle me technically to some degree, but when it comes to protecting your talent as an agent and building a card and showing girls what they're supposed to be doing, I'm seeing next to none of that. I'm seeing, and I heard the stooge report I got is that she is the agent. So I've been sitting in the cut, but now the heat's coming down.
Well, and as an agent, you have to always be thinking about your performers, and you have to think, what can I do to maximize getting them over, or what can I do to maximize getting them heat? And I just personally feel like there's so many ways to get people over in the context of a wrestling match, or get people heat in the context of a wrestling match, that to do those spots that literally put your career at risk just is never, ever worth it. And so that's what I don't understand as a agent or producer, how you can send your performers out there and have them risk themselves in that manner when you know, or should know, if you're worth your salt, you should know ways to get the business done without putting your performers at risk. And so it's uncalled for.
I could name 5 people who'd be better for that job than her right now, who would protect those performers from themselves, be it you,
I'll do it.
Strangler Steve. I'll even take myself out of the equation. I mean, we can go right down the list of people. Josie would even be better. If you need to have a woman in there, because they're not protecting themselves from each other, and they're obviously not going through everything like they do and everything else to say, hold on, time out, we don't need to do that here, and we already did that there. And
well, they had a good trainer in Serena. It's interesting, you notice after she leaves, things kind of
go to shit. Well, before she left, and I'll stooge off, those girls all thought they were over. When like they all, whether it's social media or what have you, the attitudes are there, and they're obviously still there because people are doing what they want now, and there's even less checks and balances, in my opinion, when it comes to it. When even things that we're consulting on, where she's like, should I look in the camera? Because over there, you'll get screamed at if you look in the camera and address the fans. Like, these parameters they set up to become everything in wrestling are even hard for the coaches to break out of on their own performance when they come back. And it just shows like that these girls, when they wear their property of NXT shirt and take their pointing picture with Triple H, apparently you're made, and fucking it don't matter. Psychology, learning don't matter. The 4 years you had on the indies, you're ready to fucking go.
I think if they really want to get over, though, they need to get on Twitter and sing the theme songs of the wrestlers on the main roster. Because that will really help to solidify them as a star and not as a mark.
It's unreal. I wish it was relegated to one show, but this is a sickness in the business. And if you don't know, he's talking about Chris Stratlander, who's been on the fucking sidelines.
I was mad that you sent that to me. I didn't want to see that.
I can't fucking take all, dude. You see how my anger fucking feel like I'm supposed to sit here and fucking take all that by myself, dude? I'd be whipping laptops at the fucking wall if I wasn't able to spread that pain.
I did think before we were going live on the air that you were just going to just grab all your equipment and just start ripping it up. And I was gonna be like, oh dear,
dude,
you were close. But it's okay. We're here.
I got angry because of the Niners. Like, I didn't lose a ton of that. Would have been, I won this weekend pretty good for a beginning better, but that would have put me way over. And there's no reason they should have lost. So I was already in a foul fucking mood. And then you show me some idiotic shit like that where she's a Pat Buck. You know, you and I worked with Buck for fucking 3 years. Buck's on the fucking road as an agent. He trained her like Wrestle Pro, got her the gig, got her the opportunity. She's beautiful. She looks fucking good. She's doing a stupid little alien bit, boop your nose, which is dumb as fuck. But like, I get it. It's early on in your career and you need a little something to get noticed. Then you're on the shelf. And because it's Jericho's 30-year fucking in wrestling or what have you, and everybody's doing the Judas thing, she sends in a fucking her with a pretty little voice, you know, singing Judas in My Mind in her 1-bedroom apartment with fucking Venetian blinds from Walmart fucking behind in a tan wall. And you're just in your room. And it's not like, you know, two minutes or not even like 20 seconds of the song. It's like a 2-minute rendition.
Yeah, it was way too long.
You couldn't kill your own celebrity and make yourself look like a fangirl more than doing things exactly like that, dude. And of course, the AEW, SJW crowd come out of nowhere. Oh, she's got a beautiful voice, and that. Let me tongue you. Like, instead of, hey, you're on the shelf. You know what'll be great when you come back and it's a big surprise at the right time. No. We're not going to do that. Let me show you that I'm a complete Wrestling Mark fangirl, and I have to get this viral video in that's not produced, doesn't look good, and just to get this over because I don't want to be left out of the over kids party instead of protecting your business once again. Shit like this drives me absolutely fucking bonkers. You get, these kids get the opportunity way too early in life. I mean, Chris Stratlander's been wrestling for what, 2.5, 3 years tops, maybe. You know what I mean? And nothing on there. And then to come over the top as a young, pretty talent and built and get a shot. And then this shows that they're so green. They're so ignorant to the opportunities that they have to make themselves a star and set themselves up to be a star with these types of things. It guts me. It's like, just be gone. Like, no. Got to take her off TV for 6 months. Just killed whatever we were going to try and do. Unless she wants to come back as showgirl Annie and sing fucking songs. That's all I think of right now about Chris Stratlander, dude. That's about it.
Ben, I don't know how to tell you this, but the sun will come out tomorrow.
I know. So you better hang on till tomorrow, come what may. You know, it's a hard knock life for all of us trying to fucking get through all this shit, man. You know.
Well, hey, how about this? Ben, I want to try to cheer you up. How about some shitty wrestling jokes? You want to hear some shitty wrestling jokes?
Please, I need my Monday morning monologue fix. Please.
All right. Well, hopefully this will give Ben a little bit of a reprieve. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday to you. This is your Monday morning monologue. Thank you to 411mania.com for the stories. Fightful Select claims to have obtained a copy of the email that was sent to talent regarding third-party business relationships from Vince McMahon himself. It reads, just a friendly that this Friday, October 2nd, is the deadline for severing any unauthorized business relationships with third parties. As was mentioned in my September 3rd message, continued violations beyond this deadline will result in fines and may result in suspension or termination. But hey, at least it was a friendly reminder. Velveteen Dream tried to play mind games with Kushida at last night's NXT TakeOver 31 by dressing as Doc Brown, a character from Back to the Future, Kushida's favorite movie. Dream spent months apparently getting into the role to the point that he, just like Doc Brown, also spent all of his spare time hanging around with a teenage boy. That one, believe it or not, as stiff as that was sent in by Athers. Athers wrote that one. That's it. He's getting stiff with them. Kudos to Athers for sending that in. Don't expect to see RVD on your DVR anytime soon, as RVD and Katie Forbes have parted ways with Impact Wrestling. The pair's contract came to an end, and they couldn't come to terms on a new deal. In Katie Forbes' case, it appears that she twerked herself into a shoot. Also sent in by Athers. See, this is the secret plan, Ben. I'm just was doing these jokes long enough to where people will start sending me jokes, and then I don't have to write them anymore. I just can say them. In an interview with Fightful, Lisa Marie Varon, aka Victoria, aka Tara, said that she was never planned to make an appearance at the 2020 Royal Rumble earlier this year. So stop fucking asking. Vader has yet to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and one of his toughest opponents thinks that should change. Mick Foley took to Twitter and had strong comments on the late wrestling legend not being included, more or less saying, "It's time." That's my best impression. Ryback hosted a Q&A on his Twitter recently where he made a bold statement. This is strong. Speaking of stiff, according to the big guy, the world will be a better place whenever Vince McMahon passes away. Experts now agree that Ryback will likely be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame the same day that Chris Benoit gets in. And speaking of Ryback, for our last story, feed him more, apparently. In a recent interview on Ryback TV, Ryback admitted that he'd be willing to take legal action against the Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott when it comes to the Feed Me More slogan, to which I would expect Ryback to win this one, especially when you consider the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Monday morning monologue.
Yeah, thank you, man, Beast. I needed that one, dude, for sure. Some good endorphins releasing that, but I'm sure I'll get hot again as soon as we go to the headlines. But that's your Monday morning monologue from the man Beast, Dr. Tized McNailer. You guys, we appreciate and love him for all of his comedic reprieve and his joke writing staff as well. Great work.
Yeah, thanks to others. If you have a joke for the Monday morning monologue, book the doctor at gmail.com, send them in. If it's good enough, I will include it because that's less work that I have to do.
If it's bad enough, he'll probably include that too.
That's true. If it's really, really bad, I probably will include it as well because I can't help it.
Oh, good stuff, man. For sure. Coming out of the gate there. A couple of stories that line up. Obviously, the Twitch stuff and the Lisa Marie stuff is interesting too, because I want to get into that. What was the last one there that you had said?
The Feed Me More, Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. Because we thought Ryback might come back. We thought he might go to AEW. Neither have happened. And then he cuts these big shoots later on Vince, and like the old man's got to die in order for anything to change. I remember he cut a shoot like, I don't know, 8 months ago. Me and Buck first got hired and signed, and he was like, I'm going to get signed and make sure Buck gets fired. These guys were like best friends when, well, let's say over guys who are best friends are fair weather friends who are always suspect of each other.
It was interesting when they, go ahead.
Sorry. Like Man Beast and I and the core of those who weren't signed, all we had was labor of love in each other. So our friendship is a lot more true. And then once these guys, fuck OVW, I'm moving to Florida because that's where I get signed, and they're smart to do it if they're serious about the business, where we took over OVW. But then things, once somebody gets signed and something doesn't, jealousy rears its ugly head and a bunch of other shit. With the indie bookings when Buck was running WrestlePro, I just remember this big promo that Ryback cut on where he's like exposing that Buck was supposedly stealing money from somebody in his family to run this, that, and the other. Just like a lot of things that are normal worker scumbag things possibly, but to be talking about it in a big shoot interview and even saying like, when I go back to WWE, I'm going to make sure he's fired and I'm going to kick his ass. I'm like, dude, you guys worked at Smoky Bones together. You were fucking, bros and all that. How do we get to this point? And now Ryback further down this fuck them, burn the bridge, Hamin way to do whatever. If anything, I would try to have partnered with that guy in the NFL and expand the Feed Me More brand. If you got that fucking dude who's a big beast in this one, why wouldn't you want to fucking possibly do something? Chances are that guy's a wrestling mark too, and he's just using it as a small thing. There's an opportunity there. Our own anger, and mine included, probably saying shit already this morning, could cost us jobs, whether it's Tony Khan feels some kind of way about Stratlander, or told her to do that shit. But to me, as a fucking producer, that makes me want to cut my fucking beard off in psychosis, because I just cannot believe when people get these opportunities and then they do things like that they're so myopic that they don't even see their opportunity, that a quick vanity metric is worth way more to them than actually fucking making the money off of it. It's unbelievable to me. And Ryback is in kind of a stranger place where I've seen these moves that are really shutting down outside opportunities instead of saying, okay, here's that. How do I exploit that to get more out of it? The guy is a brilliant marketer. He's brilliant at science. He can articulate. People just want to say, look at him. He's a big fucking meathead. Quite the opposite.
And the thing that breaks my heart is, like, I haven't talked to him in years, but when I knew him in OVW, he was a legitimate, like a really good dude. Weirdly enough, as little as I am, relative to Ryback, we worked a ton of times over the summer of 2008, and it was always very pleasant to work with. We had given our size difference, it was very gimmick driven, but we had some great house show matches, and it was just always a pleasure to work with them. And so it's just so strange to see this side that this person he's kind of become, this very angry, bitter, vengeful type personality now. And I just don't get it, because he always was just, it used to be the guy that always would cut up and laugh and make jokes, and you just wanted to be around him in the locker room. And now it seems like he's unfortunately became embittered by the business, and it's sad to see.
Yeah, he was. I had an opportunity to Russo and he's like, here, have Hamin if you need any help. But Ryback's a guy who doesn't need help. He's got the production set up. He's ahead of the curve. He knows. I'm like, dude, I'm here back if you need anything for me. He's like, oh, I appreciate that. And what can we do? But the business didn't go sour. It's just he didn't need my services because he's got it on lock. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of taken it in a strange way. And he did great. I don't want to be like, oh, let's Horowitz it and put it over, because it's his idea too. But the Ryback idea kicked off with us in DCW. He was a Terminator, and we put him with Fang, and it was just like that. And we had him, he'd look a certain way, the lights down, lights up, and you just have to one and done kill somebody. But that evolved into what Ryback became. So he was always, and that's a guy who looks like a star compared to even WWE stars. Like, you see him. So here he is being humble, fucking with the students to get his shit over to get back re-signed, which he did.
Right. And usually when you have situations like that and they're in front of guys like Johnny Ace and they know on their television, they can start being dangerous because they want to lay their shit in and make it look good. He never once had an issue, at least in OVW, where people would come back and be hurt because they worked with him. That never happened once.
Never. And it don't take much for him to do something even at 50%, and you're fucking rocking and reeling. That's a lot of muscle there. But
I always felt extremely safe anytime I worked with him. And that's saying something, because I worked with guys that otherwise were safe, but that you could tell they were laying their shit in, and you just had to brace yourself. He was never that kind of guy that took liberties with people in the ring, at least in my time with him.
You have fought some big fuckers: Jacob Duncan, him, Roadkill,
Jay Bradley,
Vladimir Kozlov. Jeez,
oh God.
I know Jay Bradley will fucking hit you, because he knocked me on my ass once or twice in Chicago.
And Kozlov, as nice as he is, as a person, he would knock your socks off too. Jesus.
So Jesus, beast. I'm glad I didn't have your fucking career. I just got to go Congo Kong, go get him.
It'll probably happen eventually. Damn it.
But yeah, shout out to Ryback and whatnot. But that's just a strange thing that the business has taken a turn that way on him. A self-made man, though. I cannot fault that guy at all. And the amount of branding knowledge, obviously supplemental and health knowledge. I just think those places, when they have it's a big show, the Arnold Schwarzenegger in Ohio, the classic there. Like, dude, if I was any supplement company, I'd be like, dude, we want you to represent us, like. he's so well connected in that shit. There's a lot of business stuff I'd like to hear about and learn from him strategy wise, but it seems the bullshit of wrestling and the backstabbing is taking its toll on him, and he's not afraid to fucking call a Johnny Spade and say what the fuck he's got to do.
Apparently. feed him more.
Feed him more, man. Feed for him at least, please. Don't make him come get you. Oh, you're not gonna like it when he comes and gets you.
Actually, I'm gonna write his name down. Is he's still working though, right?
I mean, who's working? You know,
not true.
Nobody's doing anything.
Well, all right. So I got a news item. I'll stooge off a little bit, and I'm not ready to make any big announcement, but this is the locker room, and this is where we discuss things that are in development. But I had an interesting meeting over this last weekend down here in the Kentuckiana area, and myself and 3 other wrestling friends of mine are going to pool some money together. We are starting, we're not going to look to be starting on, competing against USA or TNT Network or anything, but our goal is to provide a good haven for good wrestling in the community and just be able to make our money back and be able to, more importantly, fairly compensate all the performers on the show. And so starting in January 2021, we don't even have a name for the promotion yet, but we're opening up shop, and we're, because we talk enough shit about, this is how you should do wrestling. Well, we're actually going to sit down and we're just going to do good wrestling. And so as things go forward, we're going to be filming this. We're going to do, probably start with filming once a month, doing a 2 to 2.5 hour show. It's hard to do that, but then use all the footage and interviews and everything to do a weekly 30-minute program that'll be available likely on YouTube for free. So be on the lookout for that as we develop and get things closer, make announcements for people on the show. We're going to be bringing in, it's going to be a mix of nationally known talent that's on different programs, whether it be AEW or Impact, and a mix of local talent that a lot of people probably haven't seen, but will be pleasantly surprised to see how good some of these guys are. Guys and girls that deserve the opportunity to be on television. So be on the lookout for that early 2021. Ben, I'm sure at some point we'll have you in as well, and it should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that.
I'm excited. The minds behind it are all brilliant, all OVW brothers who are passionate and without leaving the area, trying to break out of the wrestling bubble, and do their own thing. And sometimes it's the scariest part of it, but also the most rewarding.
Well, and that's why we're planning months ahead of it, because most promoters are money marks and they just aren't afraid to lose their ass. We're not looking to lose money. We're looking to invest it properly into the right talent and into the right marketing capabilities, and be able to not only make our money back, but over time start to integrate ourselves both into the local community as well as obviously the wrestling community as well. So
they's integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wish all you guys, best of luck with that. And I'll come in and do as good a business as I possibly can. And we'll just use all of the efforts we can to promote it, market it, and get it out there, man. I think there may be, even if just to drop the pebble in the pond for your next meeting over there. I heard NWA not dead. NWA coming back possibly, not just with what Marquez is doing, but Magnus and Billy. And, that was kind of after the Raven stooge off, who's, he's Billy's consigliere. So that was pretty solid news. But if they're looking to restart on a smaller level to get back to where it was, dude, I think you guys could be a great plug in there to give Billy the top talent from that are OVW veterans and champions to get them showcased on his show. So I would say stars kind of feel like they're aligning for both, where they had to take a step back and you're stepping out of the shadows. Maybe there's opportunity there for all you guys to get a good shine on.
And that is more or less our goal, is to give guys that are unknown the spotlight, and so that way they can go on to have opportunities. So like, again, we're not looking to compete with AEW or WWE or anything like that, but if we can provide a platform and a place for people to come in and show off their talents and then have the opportunity to go up to an AEW, Impact, New Japan, WWE, whatever, NWA, then so be it. So I'm looking forward to it. That's a good thing to talk about. I might have make some calls.
I think also with that is then this is the 2CW model of dream booking, and we're not in the same territory, so it's not he's going to cross over. But there's plenty of people who are AEW talent who are non-contract. There's very few people who are contract, and even some that are contract can still go work at select indies. So the way you guys are plugged in there think of that too. What's the opportunity where we can get a future endeavored star who's not on Impact or AEW, crossing with one of those who can take an indie booking and do the business to set up that before it even gets to TV. And maybe that's their match that they send to Con, that they send to New Japan to show that, hey, here's the program. So definitely I would keep that in the forefront of my booking, that dream booking opportunity with having a Fed like that. If that's how you guys are going to run it, from what I understand, that could be one of your biggest draws of ticket sellers, of like, you're only going to see this here. You're not going to get it over there. You're not going to get it over there. Aiden English versus Rusev or something. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
So, I know the minds are extremely talented. If somebody says book Rip, I say I agree.
Oh, don't worry. Rip will be utilized at some point. Don't worry. All of us are tight with them, and so it's a matter of just plugging it. And here's the thing with Rip. I have so much love and respect for Rip. If we're going to plug him in, we want to make sure it's the right opportunity to spotlight him, and not that anything Rip does will be gold. So 3CW. Yeah, it's all like that. No, anything Rip does will be gold, but I want to make sure that we put him in a spot where he can be spotlighted the most, to where we take advantage of, just his abilities as a trainer and as a personality. And so Rip will be plugged in at some point. I don't know if he'll necessarily be on the first show or not, but don't worry. Rip is definitely going to be an integral part of this for sure.
They say, bring back the fans versus wrestlers from Watts time, Ben versus fans. Trust me, on a day like today, you don't want it, because I'm going to catch on. Rip versus Vince, I don't think so there either, pal. Like, same thing on the outside. I'll feed if somebody wants to knock me out, and Rip can get some heat on me. There's no doubt about that. But Ripper don't move too well in ring as he used to after the car accident. But I'll gladly sell for him on the eye poke all day long. Eye poke, grab.
Rip on the outside.
Yep. Grab you by the nuts, turn around, sell it, and puts his thumb up your ass, and you're back in the fucking ring. That's the spot. Bink, bonk.
There it is.
And you're back in. And I'll take it all day long, man. So very cool that people are excited. I mean, to do new projects, especially in a time where are the bookings? Where, what the fuck is going on?
And that was kind of the idea too. It's like, there, especially in Kentucky anyway, there's not a lot of, not tearing down at a place, but a place where you can work high quality opponents on a card where, everyone looks a certain part. And that's where, I'm sure we're getting a lot of flack from people that are, colleagues and whatnot and acquaintances and want to be on the show. And we're going to have to say no, unless they, change certain things about their look or their work in the ring or what have you. Our goal is, guys look like they can athletically go in the ring and compete, and they have the capability of doing business. And so it's not really a tall order, but it's a firm order nonetheless. And so
it's going to be a sexy blowback once OVW starts fucking, nobody can work for them. And
well, and there's their thing. I'll go ahead and it's up, because I'm sure they're going to think, it's disgruntled ex-employees, and we're not seeing this as a competition thing. We're doing our own thing, and we're going to ignore what they do. They can do what they want to. Now, because we work in the area and we want to be different, we probably will make it a point, if you work for OVW, then we will probably not want to have you on our program. And that's not a heat thing. If you want to leave OVW and come work for us, then that's cool. But at the same time, we want to feature talent that you can't see just across the bridge, because we'll be running in Indiana because of commission things in Kentucky. Yeah. So it's a business thing. And so, yeah, I'm sure that'll become a silly drama thing, but I'll go ahead and say from the get-go, we're not looking to compete. We're our own entity, and I think we'll be successful whether or not we're trying to one up them or not. So our mindset is to disregard anything that OVW is doing, and it's no hard feelings. It's a matter of, we have a great business model and plan, I think, to start things off, and our goal is just to be successful doing that, and not about challenging anyone or competing with anyone or trying to steal talent. I have firm belief in and know that when we start getting going and get good, talent is probably going to want to come over from there, because we're going to be doing things right. And again, it comes down to also making sure talent is fairly compensated, which classically has not been OVW's strong suit, and that's something that we definitely want to make sure that we're doing.
Well, one's a wrestling college, with TV. You want to be on TV and pay your dues and learn it? Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some great opportunities there. That's why, I don't want to knock it either. But at the same time, after you learn, you got to bust out of that bubble.
You got to graduate and go out and apply your trade. And I don't care if you are making $20, You were paying $20 last week, and that's the hook of it, that you're on TV and it can fucking get in your head and whatnot, especially if you go back to work smaller indie shows. But that's going out and applying your knowledge that you paid for. Are you going to stay there and keep paying the whole time? That's the mind fuck of all this. So, you know, if you do leave and whatnot, that's where you should be going out to be a journeyman. If you're just going to stay at home and call yourself the best wrestler ever, but live in the fucking basement and never go out and fucking perform outside of a 300-mile area, well, then that's as big as you're going to be. You're going to be 300 miles big. And I know you guys want more than that. I think, to be honest with you, and another pebble in the pond, fuck them, pal. Not OVW, but you're in Indiana. You guys should be taking over Chicago. Chicago's wide open right now, too.
It is?
AAW or whatever it is there in Black Label. Two feds with, you know, a fairly loyal following, but it's all the SJW crew. It's all the hardcore housemen, all those, like, wrestling's for everybody, and letting the fans dictate to them. Where I worked all those big blitz shows out there, 1,800 to 1,200 people, as opposed to your local 150 indies. And I know what works compared to what I saw with the SJW guys out there, who they are used to and overexposed. And then you give them that character, they eat it up. It's all these other matches that are the get your shit in. The guys who made, and he's a great worker, Ali, not our Ali, but Ali on WWE and other ones, dude. Those guys are spot fest dudes who really don't know psychology and get over because they want to get the guy over as an affirmative action hire or to show that they're woke. Here's my thing. Fuck all that. Go give them wrestling, and you dictate to those fans in Chicago of what wrestling is. You're going to be like a breath of fresh air, bro. Because right now, those fans are nothing more than NXT bait fans who go there just to do the chants and be a little, they think that's their what have you. They're not really serving them up any stars or anything that's fucking crazy. It's all just the little super mark. We like them, so they'll get booked on the show type stuff instead of saying, no, we tell you what you fucking like. And then they'll go, wow, this is way better than what we would have thought. That's where Chicago's wide open since Pro Wrestling Blitz has been out of business, man. So I think you could go all the way to Illinois. I wouldn't even fuck with Kentucky. I'd fuck with Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois, dude. And then I would even do a cross promotion with Dinsmore.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to kill it, man. All awesome minds. All awesome minds. No doubt about it.
Looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun.
From awesome minds to fake headlines or real headlines.
Mark, I would go and say, mark your calendars for anyone that's in the area too, or anyone that wants to come in. January 16th is what we're looking for in Jeffersonville, Indiana. So, absolutely.
Hopefully not a lot of snow there. Here's the headlines.
Here we go.
Triple H reveals Ember Moon returning to NXT has been in the works since 2019. Ember Moon made a surprising return to NXT TakeOver 31 and was revealed that it's been in the works for a while. The former NXT Women's Champ was revealed as the mystery wrestler who had been teasing their return in her recent weeks. Moon appeared after the WWE NXT Women's Championship match to confront Io Shirai, making it clear she's after the gold. In the post-media scrum call, Triple H spoke about Ember Moon's return to the black and gold brand, discussing how strong the women's division is right now. He says, just when you think the women's division in NXT can't get any stronger, the depths of it's incredible. Out comes Toni Storm back in NXT. Out comes Ember Moon back from what could have been a career-threatening injury, but is back and ready to go and back here in NXT. It was hard not for her to be smiling, so excited to be here, so excited to be back and ready to do the thing that she loves to do. I asked her who she was looking forward to working with most, and she gave me a 12-person list. It was just speaks to the division and how strong it is and why people want to be a part of it, because the competition is the best and it makes everyone rise to a higher occasion. As far as the timing of return, the timing was based on when she was available to return. We had been talking about her coming back for a while, probably since she was injured, maybe before that. The timing was just there. She got cleared. She's healthy. The door's open for her to do top rope stunners and fucking hurt herself again. yeah, dude, I got to follow up on this. A little heat from last night. So she comes up with the pre-tape and she's the biker. And who is it? Who's under the helmet? Is it Rick Rude? Oh, no. Takes the helmet off. It's Ember Moon smiling, whatnot. Is instead of serious, okay, little Thunderdome, Mad Max, or whatever she's supposed to be from, Weird Science, those fucking apocalyptic bikers or whatever. And smiling and turning around like a baby face instead of serious. Then on Twitter, an hour later, 2 hours later, anything's possible if you hashtag believe it. Dude, you're coming back on your own fucking thing. You've been off for a year. You were main roster. Now you're sent back to developmental. That should tell you something right there to get fucking rebooted once again because you couldn't get over up there. And now we're not. Now are we doing the werewolf thing? But you're a biker. Or you're apocalyptic biker, but you're still
Bike wolf.
Vamp wolf. But then let's go on Twitter and get over Bo Dallas, who's not on TV at all, his fucking thing, and again, make ourselves look like a complete mark and not a superstar. It's your re-debut. It's your tagline. It's your first tweet to get things over. And you fucking put hashtag Bo.
You put someone else over.
You are a fucking fool. You're a fool. And that's a fine right there to me, dude. We re-debuted you on our pay-per-view. Here it is. And it's about hashtag believe on your message. What does that say about you believing in your own self and your own fucking push to get back over, dude? Just to pop Bo Dallas in the locker room. That's what you're doing. Just to pop Jericho on his 30-year thing, you're going to blow your gimmick out of the water and sing for 2 minutes in what looks like a college apartment, and that's supposed to make you a star to the people that are watching you. They are children. They have no idea how to be stars and protect the investment WWE has made in them. They can shoot themselves within a minute on fucking social media by doing this stuff, undoing a year's worth of work, a surprise, a return, and just be their own little vanity metric edification. I don't know if they just don't see it. It's a whole generation of idiots, but it happens every other fucking day.
I mean, clearly it's not being taught, or at least firmly enough. I like your idea of if you undermine your business on social media, then it doesn't have to be the hugest fine, but still a fine's a fine, but some kind of fine just to let people know. And if you have any questions, that's where fortunately you have to spend a little bit of money, have someone, that's, available 24/7 for, okay, can I tweet this? I mean, it's silly as it is. People just don't have an understanding of yes or no. Is this going to undermine my business? No, you cannot tweet that. I mean, almost like they need to hire someone to just oversee it. Like,
gotta be taken away. They just have to be like, they're just bad. Daniel Price, she did it to troll people that were hoping it was Bo Dallas. It was silly. Okay, but that doesn't excuse it to me, dude. We're all in NXT and now's my re-debut. I'm already over. I don't need to focus on just my business and get myself over. I'm going to troll the fans. I'm going to troll the 2%. I didn't know that. I didn't know that thing about. So that's for such a small, minute of that NXT diehard moron crowd that just wants to get themselves over. She's playing to them instead of seeing the fucking Euro crowd, the fucking Japanese crowd, the Australian crowd, the American and Canadians who don't follow any of that little stupid Florida shit. That's their wrestling bubble. That's them all living together, thinking that shit is cute. And fucking in Florida, that's as big as her mind is. Doesn't see the potential that she just wasted and had to be a star to yes and her own re-debut. Instead, flushed it down the toilet with a fucking hashtag believe on there. And they think she could watch us and think it's nothing. And that other marks are not. Well, believe me. Everybody who knows what the fuck is going on in this business sees that and feels the same way. After re-debut and they saw that in the car, here's what it would be. Beast and I look at each other. I wouldn't even say nothing. I just fucking take the phone, hand it to him. Beast would look at it and you just go. After we spent 3 hours writing out what the next fucking thing for her is going to be for the next 3 months, and then we have to deal with that kind of shit. Guess what? It's scrapped. I will fucking throw that notebook in the fucking fire and be done. She's done. She's next week. What's she gonna do? She's going under. She's going under after her debut, and she's going to put over somebody that was mid-card at best and isn't even on the push, just to send the message, you want to fuck up your business? Fine. You don't care about it? Neither do we. You're enhancement talent. And chances are you're going to work with a green girl who's going to fucking blow out your ACL again because you didn't protect your business enough character-wise to put yourself in an upper echelon to work with the top people. Work with all 12 of those girls. I'm sure it's going to go aces for you. So, dude,
it's like there's a common thread. There's one piece of advice that I feel like could have helped save a lot of these stories that were going, and it's the piece of advice, the classic piece of advice, a very simple one that we got from Joy Mercury many years ago. Never miss a great opportunity to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And they think Twitter thumbsing it is shutting the fuck up. Instead, it's not, dude.
The thing is, there's a right way to do it. Like I turn to, as much as, might not want to put him over, but like a Roman Reigns who goes on there and tells people to, you would open your mouths or something about, basically the tongue-in-cheek way of saying, suck my dick. You know what I mean? And like the strong arm, like that's perfect. That goes right along with what we're building or what they're building with him as a heel. And that's awesome. I'd say someone else that also does a really good job with it is, now it's slipping me. MJF. He's another one that's on AEW and just constantly plays up that character. There's a right way to utilize social media for attention and to facilitate the stories that you're doing on TV. But when you undermine the business you do on TV on social media, it's just you're undoing all the potential great opportunities you could have to either get heat or get over.
Daniel Price pretty active in here this morning, and I agree with some of the stuff he says, but I got to chop it down. I'm not saying it's right, but all I think they keep Ember Moon on the hook so they can stay on good terms with Booker if they want to tap him for shit. Believe me, Ember Moon is not the hook to keep Hall of Famer Booker T happy, bro. In fact, Booker T is probably seeing those things and is embarrassed by his own fucking, prodigy that she's doing that. That shows that Booker T didn't put it in her to fucking not do that shit and protect your business. Wanted that says she's headed to Allbound Pain for some treats for her bestie Lexi. How about that when they're fucking on the road and she's smitten with Lexa Bliss because she's the hot little cute property and you're the best friend in the fucking Clueless scenario, the fucking Stacey Dash fucking character. And we're going to blow off our fucking entire what's the fucking book? Twilight gimmick. That's that to do viral videos where she's buying coconut fucking cookies for Lexi because those are favorites. So you guys, and now I talk like this and not a werewolf anymore. Like, dude, you're done. You're fired. You're fired. I can't. No, and that was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and Wanted Dead pulled that out of his head just like that because that means more than to say F WWE creative and everything that I'm doing. It's about my little social media world than anything else. And we're the ones over here investing time and things. I don't give a shit about Twilight. I've never watched any of those movies or True Blood and things like that. That was whatever to hook MILFs into fucking wanting to have sex with a 19-year-old ex out of high school kid in some little fantasy thing that they're trying to get into that demographic and you're going to blow it on the other stuff. Well, and if your demo's 18 to 49 men, guess what they're not into? All of that shit. Nobody has any sense in their head, man, when it comes to the market. I know this is a hot shooter episode in the Monday Locker Room.
Me.
You talked about Victoria in your opening Monday morning monologue, and that was interesting to me because I got up. Victoria states she would be open to being a WWE coach or agent, and this goes on so long with a lot of different things. You can check it out on WrestleZone, where she talks, ProWrestling.com about, just putting matches together in Molina, and says now that her in-ring career is over, Victoria is looking ahead to what's next for her. And she admitted that she's open to the possibility of taking a coaching role. I would be absolutely interested in that, says Lee. So that would be up my alley. I think I was good with the rookies. Once I got in the ring, I was a rookie myself, but I can make people look good. the ones that were not very good at wrestling, I could pick them up and put myself in a move. I wasn't upset for jobbing out. I remember telling the office, hey, give me Christy Hemme. She doesn't have very much wrestling experience. Give me to her. I'll make her look like $1 million. I don't care how much I lose. I came back to TV. You have an angle with Christy. That was breaking point when I was going, I need to speak up. I'm tired of being quiet and just being yes, sir, saying yes, sir. I was very nice about it. I went to Vince, said, give me Christy. I know she's our token girl right now. I'm going to make her look like $1 million. I'm not going to hurt her. I'm not going to make her feel so comfortable in the ring. I'm going to make her feel so comfortable in the ring. I'm not the girl that says you need to get through me to get into this business. I'm one of the people that I'm the one that people want to work with. I'm very giving, too much sometimes, but yeah, creative and agenting, producing or training type of role. Yeah, I would. Okay. How about the last time that she went backstage at WWE? Like, what was it? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe this time. And they told her to leave. They made Victoria leave backstage, Carano and them, over some, I think it was the porn heat or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Just because
porn.
There's a sex tape where she's getting railed. You know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's hot. And whatnot. But like based off of that alone, if they don't want Victoria was backstage at WWE after that, and they're gonna fucking take a veteran talent and shit on her and make her feel this big. And now she's got to come back again and go, how many times have we heard this line? From Zack Ryder to fucking Heath Slater to Rusev. I wish I wasn't such a yes man and just went along and stuck up for my business. Now I'm back trying to get a job. Like, dude, how many times can you just say, we got here, now I'm going to play the game, everybody, instead of going, I'm standing up for my business. Take me off TV if you want. Your creative sucks anyway. I'm giving you something gold. If you don't want to fire me, what the fuck am I here for? And to start with, you know? And now we're back to I know Serena's probably gone, so there's a female coaching job open. These women matches suck because Sarah Del Rey isn't obviously doing her job. So maybe I can come in. Like, this is the fucking coy chess moves of any worker behind the scenes looking for an opportunity. And would Victoria be an awesome coach and agent? I think she would be phenomenal. But look at what you have to do to belly blush yourself to go back after they told you to get the fuck out of our ring, out of our backstage area. I sent the link to Jamin. I don't think he's up yet. Dude, the Jamin story on this same shit is fucking unbelievable. And he's not even at the level Victoria is. And here she is trying to do the worker save face to go back about coaching, this, that, and the other. Whatnot. I think what she should do is open her own women's wrestling school. There isn't one.
Yeah.
You know, like that, if you really wanted to do it and get over that way. But this type of shit turns my stomach when you put in the grind for decades, your name is made probably to a Hall of Fame level, and somebody like Carano, whoever tells you to get the fuck out of backstage, what an insult, bro. And to have to come back again and be like, I'd like to be an agent.
Yeah. It's sad because she's very talented. I love the idea of having her own women's wrestling school, because that would be a way to, because one, there's not one, and one, that would be a way to undo a lot of the wrong, well, not necessarily undo, but there was a lot of women that I was just watching the Fabulous Moolah Dark Side of the Ring thing the other day, and it was interesting how women would be in their like little stable or group like under Moolah, and like more or less she would not really pimp them out, but in a sense she would, because she was getting a cut back on them and kind of held women's wrestling, down for X amount of years. So, I mean, what a way to, empower women and actually help get them bookings and be compensated fairly and make them really fucking good and know how to talk, politically backstage and sell merchandise and get themselves over and find their gimmick. Like, that would be incredible. That would be a great, piece of, it'd be a great business model, I think. And I think there's definitely a market for it, especially in today's, 2020 modern day and age.
Right on. I can't disagree with any of that. I was thinking her and what's her name? She was in Right to Censor with
Ivory.
Those two together would be that's incredible. Right. He is right there. So
say throw an ODB too as a character coach and
Dirty. Yeah.
Bam.
Dirty gimmicks and them. That would be awesome, man. Absolutely. Well, Mickey's under contract right now, Fudge, so she probably couldn't be a part of that. Aiden English discusses which NXT coaches and producers were the best. He says he goes out of his way to say, I'm going to start with Norman Smiley just because he set my career on its path, right? Whatever he said obviously resonated with someone, and he's the reason I'm here. And after that, continued to be one of the most positive, intelligent, well-spoken, and most giving men that I'd ever been able to train under. Guys like Arn Anderson were great. I had great relationship with Billy Gunn when he was in NXT, and he had such great approach to teaching that I think he showed you. Oh, am I been?
You were breaking up for a second there.
Okay. How am I now? All right.
You're better.
Check. Guys like Arn Anderson were great. I had a great relationship with Billy Gunn when he was in NXT. He had such a great approach to teaching that I think is very, very important. He showed you how to have fun with it all. He also went out to single out Terry Taylor as someone who helped him a lot. English admitted they didn't always see eye to eye, but Taylor was very helpful to him. Yeah, Stevie puts over Terry Taylor as well. Obviously, though, Terry Taylor knows where everybody's buried from every Fed. He's been around so long and had to cut so many throats, even if it's people he likes, I'm sure. And Norman Smiley, too, under the radar, but a guy who got over the big wiggle in WCW. Sure, he can work, but it's when you do character and one little hip gyration that gets you over and your name's off to the fucking races that way. So definitely some veteran talent who've seen it all during the Click era and every other goddamn thing, and have strutted around with red hair and acted like a chicken to the big wiggle itself. So Aiden English doing the opera thing doesn't surprise me at all. If take it and get something out of it. Again, I've talked about how I think there still should be a complete Raw the musical, written by myself and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Although I think it could be bigger than that. I'd say, the wrestling the musical, the history of wrestling through Aiden English's lies, all the way from back in the 70s and 80s all the way up through modern day today, have all the big moments in wrestling over the years. Like that would be, I think you could for sure write it, Ben. I'd love that.
I think we could do it. We could get it done. It would be, I would do one for Raw that was based around Raw, but I think for Broadway, you could easily write a wrestling musical. there's already the elaborate entrance of Chad Deity, but it's not what I have visioned in my head is a musical that way. But that's a guy who should be the star of that. You know what I mean? Aiden English should be cast in wrestling on Broadway musical. Granted, there's no audiences right now, so it's a little tough, but it's crazy, man. That's a guy who gets it, was getting over, and I have no idea why they shelved him and let him go. Whether that's heat by association with Rusev and Lana and where they wanted to go to rib them with the Bobby Lashley storyline, and he's just written off and gets future endeavored or what have you. But I think that dude was a great breakout after him and Gotch got split up as the Vaudevillians. He reinvented himself well, and I think that could even transition into something bigger.
Agreed.
Daniel Price says, if I do it Les Mis style, he'll buy a ticket. Well, at the end of the day, you're another day older, pal. His wife works with AEW. Well, that's great. Chris Jericho, new book details his 2,725 matches over 30 years. Jericho is set to release a new book, The Complete List of Jericho, which documents 2,725 matches over the last 30 years, including the top 10 lists of his favorite opponents, matches, and arenas from across the world. He'll be celebrating his 30 years on AE Dynamite this week. He says, nobody's done a book like this before, and they'll never, ever do it again. No, I added that. Said Jericho during his last Saturday Night Special podcast. The book details the location of every match I've had, the opponent, the money I got paid, the star rating, and the crowd. That means he's fucking has written that down after every match he's had for the last 30 years. Wow. During my first day in wrestling school, I asked my trainer, Keith Hart, how many matches he had in his career. I had no recollection of being called. My question, dumb, I thought to myself, if I want to know how many matches Wayne Gretzky has played in, I can just look it up in a book. That's why I started writing in the details of every match in a piece of paper. Jericho said, no one wrestler now does not document all their matches. I believe some wrestlers started but couldn't carry it through. A lot of people have said they've wrestled 10,000 matches, but that's an exaggeration. I've wrestled some nights in Mexico and done 10 matches a week. And this number is still 2,000 125 over 30 years. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at. People ask. I mean, it's hundreds, obviously. If we just averaged 3 days a week in OVW, because some days were 2 and some weeks were 5. So I'll just go 3 there at 3 years, 52 weeks, right? So there's 350 shows, or excuse me, 150 shows a year times 3. So there's 450 in our first years. Then 2 CW in the Indies are running. I probably run 5 times a month for 5 years. So there's another 250, roughly. Yep.
Your sound.
Oh, it's shit in the bed.
Yeah.
Let me go open this door a little bit. I think my audio's fucked. Me, my, mo. 1 minute.
That's okay. So I had to mute myself. Sometimes real life happens. Sometimes your wife is having a moment of anxiety trying to find her debit card that she thinks that I lost. And fortunately, she found it and I didn't lose it. So I should get brownie points. Probably not, though. That's okay. Now with audio.
So they close the door. I was fucked for like 5 minutes.
Oh, all shit.
Right. Couldn't understand anything I said about the book. Jericho's written down every one of his matches for 30 years, and it's 2,725. So he said that Keith Hart said that's for marks. Nobody writes down their matches, but he's like, fuck that. I want to be like Wayne Gretzky and have stats, because I'm sure he was, because his dad's a pro hockey player and whatnot. So he wrote them all down. I was thinking, OVW alone, I could probably say 400 matches maybe, based on all the shows we did over 3 years. And then, pretty much 2 CW, another 2 in the Indies, 250. So I'm probably about 550 to 600 right now, So people do say that 10,000. I'm like, that's bullshit, dude. So it's interesting, a concept for a book. For the, hardcore Meltzer fans to have all those stats, it's going to sell, but I don't know how sexy the content is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Unless the interesting part, if there's certain match notes or something like that, this was the first time wrestling in Japan, or this was my first championship, and whatever, what I mean? Just little things, or like something that happened that night, or so it went to someone,
There is something to say for it, though, especially us getting hit in the head and not remembering. Because I look back now, and it's my 30th year this year in performance, not wrestling, but 14th year, going on 14. Starting at age 12, I can think back of the musicals I was in and the casts and some moments in those, each one of those. It's very difficult. And it's probably because improv is done and then gone forever. It's very hard for me to think back to 2000 to 2005 and all of the shows I did 4 or 5 nights a week. If you were to put all those in there for 5 years, then definitely, I might be over fucking 1,500 if you were to count all improv shows too. But it's very hard for me to remember great shows from college and Chicago that were so big to me at the time now, because wrestling has replaced those memories a little bit. You know what I mean? And it makes me sad. It's because I wish I did have those, let me have written this down so I could go back 20, 30 years from now. There's a whole year, 2 years of improv shows in Chicago. I can't pull any memories from what went on stage anymore.
Wow.
I guess we're going full robot.
Oh, it sounds okay to me, but maybe it's not coming through on their end. I'm hearing okay.
I don't know. Let me drop out and drop back in 1 second.
Okay. You can't ever go full robot.
Gotta go. Yeah, you can't go full robot. That's an awesome resume, Ben. Well, thank you. That's the whole thing of what we are trying to put over here is, I get it. Some people have kids and they have the mortgage and they can't sacrifice for what their dreams are. But those of you who do want to, and I'm not saying your life's over with, you can still choose your poison, but you've got, responsibility, and I get it. But when it comes to those of us who really want to do it, you want to make it to Saturday Night Live, you want to make it to WWE, that means leaving college, leaving mom and dad, going with somebody that might be your best friend who shares that dream, or by yourself. And you have to put yourself in the place where the best people are. And you start out just watching and learning. And then slowly over 2 and 3 years, as you perform constantly, they see you and you get to the level. And then you just become one of them, even if you're a rookie player, and you earn their respect to it. So it's all about putting yourself around the best in the business. If you're serious about becoming a name in something. So whether it was going to Second City or Improv Olympic and dedicating 6 years, or going to OVW for another 3, that's just what it takes to be a Jedi. You can't go fight Darth Vader just fucking because somebody hands you a lightsaber. Check out the new Force Order, hackerhamin.pod.
That's right.
Oh, shit. So Jericho's book, get it? I'm sure it'll be entertaining like everything else he does. And then, fire up Twitter and sing his theme song if you want. I don't know. Sami Zayn, the reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion, has finally acknowledged his facial resemblance to actor Seth Rogen. He says, "Maybe I do look like Seth Rogen," Zayn wrote in a response to a tweet from Rogen. Zayn was possibly agreeing with Rogen's views about the Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, who became the first Muslim women to serve in the U.S. Congress last year. Rogen was defending these 2 women who were being termed as anti-Semitic on Twitter for their views on Israel-Palestine situation. Rogen has been spoken out against the state of Israel on several occasions in the past. The Zayn-Rogen comparison has been an internet meme for years, and Rogen even addressed it in 2018. Screen grab, which can be seen below. He just puts it over. But they do look together. I think the match here, if you're really going to do it, is Seth Rogen and Sami Zayn versus Will Ferrell and the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that's where we're going with this booking, and it could possibly get them all over. Sami Zayn, since he's kind of come back, I'm not adverse to, for the first time. It's a good heel work. I might have done the finish differently on the ladder match last week and had the babies up because Sammy could have got over with more heel heat instead of being the champ. Then they did the Medusa thing this week on SmackDown where he drops the fucking title in the trash. So interesting stuff. And that also was a great little side bit to SmackDown that actually helped raise it to another level as well, Sammy's performance. And I don't think I've ever said that.
Well,
I'm gonna
check it out.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't out on the move though. I think there's always more money in the chase, and at least in that situation, you have a chance for him to capture the championship in a manner that doesn't allow him to necessarily defeat anyone. You know what I mean? He didn't actually have to pin or submit anyone to capture or recapture the championship. And so I think as a mechanism of storytelling, it works. Now, where will they go from here is always the $1 million question, but I haven't seen SmackDown, but I like to hear the follow-up from the previous week was good because I did feel like that was one of the pick'em challenges that I ended up getting right, but I also felt like the rationale was sound, and you have the heel have an opportunity to capture the title back without actually defeating anyone, and that's the Heat is, well, he never actually pinned or submitted anyone to get that championship, even though technically he did have a grievance that was to an extent acceptable, but at the same time, he is the one that took his ball and went home. So I think it's a good story. I'm interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I like his look right now. And I think the problem is, though, when we talk about the social justice stuff online, he's getting heat right now. So to do something celebrity with Seth Rogen, even in public, makes it
disingenuous.
Yeah, you're now I like him and I'm interested in it as opposed to that. The finish on that ladder match. I don't know if I talked to you about that. I didn't have a problem with. I have a problem with it, but it's just you won in the Pick'em challenge, so you obviously in your psychology there works. But you had Jeff Hardy.
Doesn't always.
Yeah, he hooked Jeff Hardy with the handcuff through the ear. A very visual spot that was okay, cool, and handcuffs him. Then he does the Point Break bit where AJ goes to suplex him and then he comes up handcuffed. I was like, that was fucking good too. I like that. They go up the ladder. He spits out the key, hooks AJ to the fucking ladder and the handcuffs. So he's free. Then he goes up to win it. Now, here's where the psychology's fucked. If AJ's on the ladder handcuffed and so is he, then all AJ has to do is sacrifice himself and throw himself off the ladder to fucking bring the ladder down, and we all go crash and boom, right? And Sami had the key, so now the key could have been dropped. Ref gives it to Jeff Hardy, unlocks his ear. Jeff goes up because both heels took each other out and bape on that. The heels heat backfired on him in the end. He thought he was free and clear. So I would have put Jeff over in that instead of him. You know,
I can see that.
So, but yeah, he's doing well. A lot of people who've been lackluster in former storylines have been able to carry the ball pretty well so far out of the gate since they've returned.
Yeah.
And
it goes back to, I still say, you notice how people leave and come back and feel rejuvenated. I think if people had, kind of a cycling contract where, they were active 9 months out of the year instead of full 12 and have a quote unquote season, or you can still have year-long wrestling, but guys only wrestle 9 months out, it would help save their bodies. And then you get better performances out of them too, because by the time they're coming out of their quote unquote off season, they're chomping at the bit to perform and do it out there. Now, wrestlers aren't going to do it themselves. They're not going to say, okay, I'm going to take money away 3 months out of the year. But I think thinking forward with these companies that are able to pay their performers a salary, that's something to consider, because I think you'll end up getting better stories and better performances and better character work from your performers than making them do the hustle and the grind 12 months out of the year. But that's a whole nother soapbox.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you to stay on it, kind of, because this next story is going to be brutal.
Oh boy.
No, it's just Nattie, teases training session with a special name, and it's on from WWE Divas, and it looks like Nattie took to Twitter on Sunday and indicated she was training in the ring with someone special. Nattie noted that she and husband Tyson Kidd were training in their wrestling ring along with legendary Dr. Tom Pritchard. She could not reveal who they were training. She wrote, finished wrestling practice in our ring. TJ Rosen ran with Dr. Tom. Man in the middle drills. Forgot how much I hate those drills. Me too. So much fun. I wish I could tell you who I trained with. Fold hands emoji, wink face emoji, hearts emoji, women wrestling emoji. Blow my head off emoji. There's no word yet on who Natalya, Kidd, and Dr. Tom are working with in the ring, but the speculation has been everyone from Aaliyah Mysterio to Tessa Blanchard, Melina, Ronda Rousey, who seems to be the main name being tossed around among fans. Stay tuned for updates. You can see Nattie's tweet below where she has heat with Mandy Rose showing up late for her practice with her too. So just big names there to do man in the middle drill. What's man in the middle drill? Tell him, Beast.
It's been a while. Isn't that just where you have one guy parked in the middle and people just keep feeding in for him and they keep, it's
hip toss, drop toe hold.
Or if you really don't like someone, drop kick, drop kick. I've seen Rip do that, and people have to do 20 fucking drop kicks in a row, and it's like, oh, shit.
Not me and Twink. You'd see us, you go drop toe hold.
Yeah. Big boot.
Big boot. Hip toss. Taking or delivering? Delivering. Don't take one. You're too fucking unathletic. But I've taken some hip tosses in the ring in the last couple of years. They're not pretty. One was really good. 3 were really shitty. So I'm 25%. So if you want to call a hip toss to me, you're going to get sandbagged probably. But yeah, man, we'll see if it's Rowdy Ronda, if she's back. I don't really see a great place to fit in right now. And the other thing I was going to say in that NXT, not that was wrong, like working heat on heat on the arm in 3 matches, big matches. We had what's her name come back that we just talked about? Werewolf.
Oh, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon come back. And then we also get the big face on the screen of Toni Storm, right? And what people like Toni Storm because she's got a hot ass. Like, that's the thing. So let's just show her face with fucking bleach blonde hair like it means something. I'm going, who is she? I don't even know who this girl is, dude. If you were to show me the assets and some TNA, it would have fucking registered to me. I had no idea who she was. So that's just for the diehard NXT supermarks that would be pumped about it. Not anybody else who really realizes what the frig is going on and doing business. And then the other part of that is you're bringing back Ember Moon. Now, when you bring back Toni Storm, the girl, her fucking big shine of coming back has just been lessened by 50%. So another, like, you're going to do a re-debut, you do one. Because if you do two, now neither of them mean shit at the end of the day. And here we are with Carmella also doing this same, I'm the pretty blonde now and no one can get to me. And I'm the, like, so Carmella's just being reinvented as the pretty blonde material girl. What is that going to do to sell tickets, make anybody care about anything? We've seen Carmella in 50 different things. You know what I mean? From Enzo and gimmick to whatever she was doing the last time, Money Mella and the bank bullshit. But now she's Madonna material girl, 1988. Just ridiculous re-debuts for all three of these women, of them not caring and kind of us not caring, and them not looking at what's the max value from each of them to get that shit over. I even heard that Carmella thing was supposed to be, who was the redhead who was clueless with the Kool-Aid?
Eva Marie
was supposed to be her coming back. They couldn't even get that done. So even in a re-debut of a girl who can't wrestle for sexy TNA stuff, we have to swap out and put another girl in because we couldn't get the other clueless girl to fucking do that on our TV. Just unbelievable, bro. Frank Spigglebear said, can we get Enzo back? I thought Enzo, somebody was asking me last night what I thought about Retribution. I think Enzo would be the right guy to be the leader of Retribution. They've got real beef, right?
That would be good, actually.
So, you know, better than what they did now. But yeah, like a virgin, everybody, go get that album. Based anything on that with them splitting focus again between the two girls?
You're right. Yeah. I'd say you put the spotlight on a big return, but whose big return are you really caring about? To me, it seemed like the one that they really wanted to focus on was Ember Moon's, because they did the setup and everything, but then they randomly out of nowhere brought back Toni Storm, which, yeah, like I said, one at a time. You got to know your business and think, you know, you could have literally just waited one TV and done it then with Toni Storm if you really wanted to bring her back. And then, hey, that's something you can sell on TV.
And here's the fourth stupidest part of that. NXT announces Halloween Havok promo hosted by Shotzy Blackheart. Okay, she's character. I get it. The picture is her standing on a cliff baying at the moon for NXT Halloween Havok. I don't mind that they use the WCW stuff. They bought it. It's good nostalgia. Is Shotzy Blackheart a werewolf?
No, but she howls in the ring. That's been her thing.
Oh, she howls in the ring. Okay.
Yeah. She'll do a move and be like, woo woo. And then the crowd, I guess it's supposed to
call me crazy. I would put the werewolf girl on the poster. It's her return. It's fucking that's what we're conditioned to. I would not have put Shotzy Blackheart in this spot. Shotzy Blackheart is punk and militant, military, strange, and here we have the mythic going into Halloween. Again, it's just a miss for me. Again, another miss. I don't get it. Why they can't see this type of stuff and swap it out, or put them together and let them host at least together to some degree. But this whole thing should be Ember Moon's shine, not Shotzy Blackheart's.
Well, maybe they have another one in the can, and this was the first part, and they didn't want to necessarily showcase the first one with Ember Moon since they knew they were bringing her out. But then, who knows? Maybe this next week they'll do a second part 2 where she's howling at the moon, and then Ember Moon comes out, and they have a pseudo face off or something. I'm just throwing it out.
It says hosted by. I'd like to believe that, and what your idea is makes more sense. But it says hosted by Shotzy Blackheart.
Oh, well, there you go.
Thing, and it's just going to be 3 weeks of that, dude. And to be honest with you, though, I was like, if that means she's not wrestling and not doing stupid shit to hurt herself, let her host all day long. Maybe this will be where she finds her voice as a character. I don't have a problem with that. I just marketing wise and in the creative side, this isn't her spot. But then again, maybe it was Ember Moon's spot and she did something that showed she's not ready for it. And this could be the punishment where they're like, no, Ember Moon, you're out. Shotzy Blackheart's in, dude.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know what's going on backstage, truly, because that can dictate a lot of things, and things can change very, very quickly. Sometimes in the middle of a show, that quickly.
Should have been Ember's reveal, and that's what she should have put over on Twitter. Amp Williams, you're 100% right too there, bro. Cujo says she'll find a way to break her neck while hosting. I don't doubt that either. WWE should have a conspiracy character. We did. His name was Solomon Crow, and I wrote 6 to 8 weeks of TV for his debut, and Triple H didn't get it.
And then we had the SmackDown hacker, and I guess he got bored and he quit.
Yeah, that's it, man. He's back on. Just they don't acknowledge their failures, and they don't follow anything up. And then what do you care as the audience who's invested your time in that? And then it's just Triple H going, when they want to pull somebody up, they do it, and I just try and fix it.
It's a funny thing, and followed by something that is completely not true.
OVW will be developmental forever.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going. You're right.
1 month later.
Exclusive news on the WWE Capitol Wrestling Center. Fans being put into pods by Raj Giri. As reported, the Capitol Wrestling Center will be debuting tonight, which is the WWE Performance Center. They've renamed the WWE Performance Center into the Capitol Center. Wrestle Stink has learned that the move to the newly renovated Capitol Wrestling Center was due in part to the recent renovations and desire for live fans to return. Full Sail wasn't going to allow fans, and NXT wanted to proceed with fans, which we reported last week. This is being looked at as a refresh for NXT, a new set with LED boards and the return of fans with some talent as well in the crowd. There's been talk, but no acknowledgement publicly that AEW continues to be NXT in the ratings in the 18 to 49 demo every week. The notion is that fans are what makes NXT unique. Having a fresh start and renovating the building, featuring a new set of live fans in attendance will give NXT the rejuvenation to what it once had before the pandemic. No, it's not. All fans in attendance will have to pass COVID-19 screenings, temperature checks, and questionnaires to attend, and virginity screenings to make sure you still are at 35. Masks must be worn at all times. Wrestle Inc. was told that the fans will be in pods at the show, which will be similar to the pods used by Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler feud in 2011. These are custom built. Each group that arrives will be taken separately from everyone else to their pod prior to the start of the show. The same procedure will be used when exiting afterwards. Fans will not intermingle with any NXT talent. And then in the weeks and months to come, barring any positive COVID-19 test results, they will increase in capacity. The understanding is that by the start of the new year, management is hopeful to have fans sitting in chairs and stands with somewhat back to normal feeling to the show. This is not publicly being talked about in case of setbacks. Oh, I'm sure what could possibly go wrong now. There's a direction in place with an end goal in mind. It was noted these next few weeks of bringing live fans back will be as crucial as there are. These are just the first steps into getting where they want to be in 2021. As noted, we posted a sneak peek of the Capitol Center. You can check below at NXT's Twitter. Go ahead, Beast.
There's a word that comes to mind as far as what it wouldn't be, or I guess a phrase, a turn of phrase, and it's cost effective. I don't foresee this being that at all, but from the materials to be used to build these pods, the labor it takes to build these pods, to the security involved with bringing people in one at a time, because you're going to have more, ushers and things of that nature. And the fact that, as far as from my understanding, I don't believe NXT has done very well as far as turning a profit as far as that section or subsection of the company. So I just don't see this being a feasible thing to do, given the great expense. I mean, granted, they aren't, afraid to, spend money on silly things, but at the same time, I just don't foresee any way this is a cost-effective decision to make.
I don't either. This is Vince trying to push back into, let's get them back in the arenas, and here's how we're going to do it slowly. And then they're going to wake up, and the arenas will be full again. With the diehard NXTs who will put over every dumbass thing and get in line to do that shit. That's who they're going to use. And it's not the worst decision. It's just pretty telling of like what they're trying to do behind the scenes without doing it, and it's going to go bad. There's going to be another COVID outbreak. They're going to have their feet held to the fire. NXT at its peak, with all of those 35-year-old virgins, is a $20 to $40 million a year loss leader. That's when it's running at its peak with ticket sales, because of the 300 people you have under contract, 80 of who will never make it to TV, who are NCAA stars, who are getting paid to live in Florida and work out so they can be in the background of Raw Underground. There's 80 people like that under contract.
I know from watching NXT every week and doing the review, one of the things I've brought up before is they have so many people on the NXT roster that they don't even have time to feature everyone. Like, I remember when Dominik Dijakovic, granted, I think he's doing the Retribution thing. When he first came on the scene, I was like, who the hell is this guy? I had no idea, simply because he hadn't been on TV in several weeks. And they said, I guess he just, disappeared and then came back because they only have, so much time to feature each week on television. So they literally have more people down there under contract. Now, it is fine to have people that just aren't TV ready and they're training. That's one thing. But when you have TV ready people, or relatively anyway, TV ready people, and you don't even have enough TV time to feature them on television every week, that's a problem. That means there's some more, and I never want anyone to lose their jobs, but it sounds like they hired more people than really they should have in the first place, and if they didn't have enough TV time for these people.
There's a couple people I wouldn't mind seeing lose their jobs today. Peaceful protests, which draw thousands, somehow do just fine without pods, and magically the virus doesn't spread. I think that's the key. We just need to turn this into a protest instead of a show. A Monday night protest, Friday night protest, and we'll be fine.
There you go.
I think we've got it figured all out, you guys. What about says COVID's bullshit. Can't disagree with you there, Briz. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, dude, this is going to be bad PR waiting to happen. You know what I mean? Because there will be an outbreak. There will be people talking shit. It'll be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and whoever else fighting from the inside, and that'll get people pissed off. And that's just the road we're going to continue down. And that's not really WWE's fault. That's the where they've pushed us in society. Go watch the South Park special this week of wearing the diaper on your chin and not your nose. And I hate you and you hate me. And it's a Zoom call and we can act like we're civil adults, but they're really just doing the same old divide them so they'll never be united against us. And that'll happen at WWE too. They're brilliant at that. I see that MSG put up in the Hamin Media Group Discord, we're looking for street team members in there. If you're a Redditor, if you're hardcore into that kind of stuff, we've got a lot of great people on Twitter, retweeting us. We appreciate all that, clipping out the stuff, Kaz and El Plaja, and people putting it over and whatnot. And now we're even trying to get a growth to go a little bit farther because we've got so many unbelievable shows that they're getting some numbers and we've seen it, but it's just about awareness. So we're asking for some hardcore people who are online all day to become our street team in that and get it out into the Facebook groups, whether it's the Star Wars podcast or the Suck My Balls South Park, someplace where wrestling fans might not reside. And you guys are such diehard loyalists to Russo Brand and Hamin Media Group that if somebody wants an opportunity, here's what we talked about yesterday in our meeting, and maybe there's 2 or 3 out there who want to work together and do that stuff to promote all the shows that we got going on. So things that are great content. We see that every week. Locker Room's the best show, the best free show in wrestling. Nobody does it like the Locker Rooms at Hamin Media Group. And the numbers are solid for you guys, but think about all the touch holes are listening to people who don't know anything about wrestling talk all week long because they're unaware of how good the Locker Rooms are here. And if you can help us create that awareness, that's what we're looking for, you guys. So if you're into the digital troll scene and whatnot in a positive way, that's what we're looking for. Beast, anything to add to that, buddy?
No, it's just you never know what might come out of an opportunity either. People that have helped us in the past, like for instance, Adler's just, tweeting us out and throwing in, mailbag stuff from time to time. And all of a sudden now he's, helping run the Smack Attack and doing an incredible job at that. Absolutely. So, I mean, you never know, what a little bit of, just take a little time to share and tweet out, then all of a sudden, we have a staff meeting and we're like, hey, we have an opening for XYZ. Well, so-and-so has been tweeting our stuff out and doing a really good job at that. Maybe we can bring them on, for whatever, you just never know what'll come out of it. And it's always very much appreciated. It just helps us get the word out on the stuff that we're doing. It helps us, maintain, our free platform for everyone listening, and helps us to expand and just do more things with it, bring in more guests. And so the more we're out there, the more people let others in the wrestling community know that we're out there, the more we can do, and the more reach that we'll have. We already have an incredible reach, but the more we'll continue to grow and be able to dominate the wrestling world.
And you guys know it's the difference between drinking Mad Dog your whole life and then finding out there's some 1946 red wine over here, and you sip it and you're like, I'm never going back to Mad Dog again. And that's Meltzer and all those fucking guys, the lowest of the low. Like when you hear the Real Wrestling Opinion shoots, you know where it is. It's Hamin Media Group, and we're the ones with the real inside knowledge, connections, and the ones who are on the road doing it in the ring. Pundits have never fucking paid a due in their life. Oh wow! Look at
Craig Barrel Proof.
Look at the beating since my birthday. I put on this fucking.
Oh shit!
that's how live it's been in October that we've gone through that much.
I feel like I need to give a special shout out to K-Bob, and I'll apologize. He sent me a message like a month ago, and then the other day I need to get back to him, but I promise one day in the next 10 years, I'm going to finish this bourbon podcast. No, in all seriousness, I do have about half it filtered out. And what I'm going to do actually, only because K-Bob has been so insistent and persistent and messaging me, and he's been just a really good dude. This goes back to, just sharing and commenting and things like that. Little things happen. But K-Bob, what I'm going to do exclusively for you is I'm going to let you have the very first exclusive listen. I'm going to send it to K-Bob, and if K-Bob says it's good to go,
then we're going. Then
I'm going to post it up on the page. But K-Bob gets the first listen because he's been very persistent and really wanting this out there. So K-Bob, it's coming your way soon. This week, I'm going to have it.
We're going to jump right around and turn on that. You and I are going to do one together too. We're going to get some.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, man, appreciate that. They were asking last night. They love that. They love the spirits and whatnot in the collections. I think it's going to be awesome. Says this is on you, K-Bob. Stranger Alley puts it.
He's on K-Bob now.
He says he always loves it when what about says I love it when the elaborate bottles of alcohol come in. It's at 10 in the morning. We're not drinking yet, but goddamn, these headlines might force us to. 3 left, really. Former WWE star Jack Gallagher responds to allegations against him getting released from WWE. Former WWE star Jack Gallagher was released from the company back in June after being accused of sexual assault during the Speaking Out movement. That's strange, gentlemen. Jack Gallagher. Numerous stories are brought to light accusing pro wrestlers and others in pro wrestling business. So a woman named Becky recalled the incident with Gallagher and Gallagher in a tweet and noted it happened on New Year's Eve 2014. Gallagher had allegedly grabbed her and tore her skirt when she wouldn't sit on his lap. Gallagher broke his silence, responding to the allegation today. He said, following the allegation made in June 2020 as part of the Speaking Out movement, I was released from my contract in WWE. I didn't release a statement then because it didn't feel right to do at the time. Smart. And now it's not smart to do this, whatever you're doing. I have now taken the time to process what happened and would like to respond. In 2014, at a New Year's Eve party, I met a young woman and my behavior towards her was inappropriate. And this party was nearly 6 years ago, and I drunk quite a large amount of alcohol that night. Unfortunately, I do not recollect what happened. I wish to make it clear that drinking is not an excuse for my behavior that night. I want to express my deepest regrets. I'm genuinely sorry for the upset that I've caused. Following these allegations, I proactively contacted the head of WWE Talent Relations to take responsibility for my actions, as I was aware that the woman who made the allegations and I had both attended the same New Year's Eve party. I was then informed that this would be a breach of the company's ethics policy, and this is what led to my release from my contract with WWE. This isolated incident is not reflective of my behavior and attitude towards women. As a man, I know I can do better. And with the support of my wife, I have taken that time over the last few months to understand what I can do. But this is not about me. This is about the women that came forward as part of the Speaking Out movement. I will continue to support women and the movement to the best of my ability. Whatever. You got drunk, try to play grab ass, grabbed a girl by the skirt, scared her. You're not a big fucking predator, dude. But to do this lip service is more ego-driven, maniacal shit. I do not get it. Why would you drop this on the fucking heels of Joey Ryan suing his fucking accusers for $15 to $20 million? People have a bad taste in their mouth off of that. They've been slamming them already, but you think it's smart to come over the top within the next week to drop this shit, where your situation is completely different from his, obviously, but it shows the incredible lack of foresight, of vision of where you are in this world. Lay the fuck out. Nobody was thinking about Jack Gallagher. Now he's a fucking I think about him some way based off of all this shit with Joey Ryan that I already had a predisposed like bad taste in my mouth. If he just would have laid out quietly, they just can't stop themselves from this ego shit. I do not understand what is wrong with these men.
So this wasn't an interview. He just put it out there on his own.
Yeah.
Because one thing, if you're in an interview and you're prompted, you don't want to dance around it necessarily, but at the same time to just announce it unprompted.
Why give it? You know what I mean? Like, dude, you just lay out for a year.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying playing grab ass drunk on New Year's Eve isn't the right thing to do, but I just think about fucking Piper, the Road Warriors, like all the fucking girls they've grabbed ass on in the fucking every airport, every strip club, every Waffle House, every whatever the fuck, dude. And it's these little things. He tore her skirt when she wouldn't sit on his lap because he was a drunk asshole. He's rapist number one, everybody. Like, everyone loses their minds over it. And it's him in his own little bubble trap that he thinks this has to happen. If you look at Quackenbush, if you look at fucking Joey Ryan and David Starr, they all shave their skeezy facial hair and try and come back with babyface fucking promos, some 20 minutes, some 45 minutes to an hour, where they're trying to say, yeah, I know I was wrong, but I want to make sure wrestling's for everybody. And I found God. And if you want to get in wrestling, now's the way through me. I'm enlightened now to my own old stupid dude. You're not fooling anyone. In fact, all you're doing is giving lawyers a beautiful piece to play in front of not a jury, because they'll probably won't get that far, to play in front of you behind closed doors with your accusers while they represent them, because you were so caught up in your own like personal hell. You thought that was the right thing to do. What's his name? The bro dude too. Matt Riddle, completely asinine to put that shit out there in the public. If you just lay out and let the fucking dust settle, you'd be fine. Because all of this shit, regardless if it is sexual assault or what have you, is direct result of the Me Too movement and people wanting to get their shine. That bus is already down the road and you're going, hey, wait for the bus, back it up. We want more negative spotlight on me so I can fuck up my career. Nobody reading this story in the wake of that Joey Ryan stuff this week, as small as this is, you've just lumped yourself in with him instead of shutting the fuck up and staying small.
It's like, I feel like every wrestler, anytime you have an idea you want to throw out there on social media, what I would suggest is, number one, write it down and go to sleep. And then if you wake up in the morning and you realize it's not a good idea, then don't do it. And then if you still think it's a good idea, it's the 3-step system I always told everyone to go through. Ask yourself 3 questions. Does this need to be said? Does this need to be said by me? And does this need to be said by me right now? If it's not yes to all 3, then don't do it. And so timing is everything. And also, whether or not it even needs to be said, doesn't need to be public, you know what I mean? And so
they just
questions.
They can't stop not hearing their own voice.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. They have to, once they got that little addiction of fame, that's what drives them to, no matter what, good, bad, or ugly. I have to be heard. I was on TV and now I'm not, even though I've got all this against me. I have to be heard. I have to be heard. You don't have to be heard. You have to shut up. And now if he gets sued for $1 million and loses, I have no empathy. I have none. Oh, yep. Shit. It's unreal. Bring this up here because this is ridiculous in itself too. Our final story, second to last story today. Liv Morgan, she needed 25,000 followers so she could show you her crazy life online, you guys.
Whoa.
Before Vince shuts all that down. What did I being out?
No, I just was
Okay. You're just
adding enthusiasm.
Okay. Because of her crazy life. And then Vince came down and goes, I'm not going to see your crazy life anywhere because I'm banning all Twitch and YouTube that's not in-house that way. So here we go. Here's Liv Morgan's first super important YouTube video, you guys. Definitely. I mean, we've seen her Riot, it's crazy. The squad is back. All that shit's going on.
Oh boy.
Here's what's important, everybody. Cleaning out the chicken coop.
I mean, already.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gianna Daddio, and today we're going to clean up some chicken doo-doo. A fly totally just flew in front of my face and was huge. So, oh my God, get out of here. I did this because I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of my personal life and how I am at home and what I do at home. So today I'm going to take you guys on an adventure. We are going to venture to the chicken coop, and I'm going to show you guys how that's done, or how I do it at least. I don't know how you guys pick up your chicken, but I'll show you how I do mine. And to my little sister, if you're watching this, I totally know this is your flannel. And I just said I'm going to go clean some chicken in it. So I'm going to wash it and give it back. Thank you for your contribution. I'm so sorry. I love you. Once again, welcome to my YouTube. Today we're going to clean up some chicken doo-doo. So watch me.
Watch her, you guys.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful.
I know this is not a farm tour video, but here's a little preview of the Wonderland Ranch. That is where the bunnies are going to go. Here's the horse stable along with the chicken coop, and on the other side is for the goats. And their Spirit. Say hi, baby girl. Oh, yay. Good girl. Kisses. And this is where
this goes on for 15 more minutes.
I was to say, we don't have to watch the whole thing, do we?
Oh, you do. You are watching it today.
Damn it.
You absolutely are watching it at all. I want a full review.
Shit. Well, the opening of the video had everything. It had, her repeating they're going to clean up chicken poop like 4 times. There was a fly flying around and loud slurping of hot liquids, and she steals her sister's clothes. So there you go. What wasn't relatable about all that?
And, the big thing is Vince is very excited because in the next 30 days, don't forget, I own your YouTube and your Twitch. So Vince is going to get great content like this. This is her debut on her crazy life of Liv YouTube that we got to get into, you guys.
There's a lot of poop.
You legit on this one could not make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You have chicken shit going even worse. Dude, I just don't get it. I've cut the promos. I've been in it with Braun. I've shit on Bray for it. Bo leave on your entrance last night. They obviously don't know, don't care, or are just completely clueless to what they're actually doing in the investment. How do they even get signed in the first place when things like that? It blows my mind, bro.
Yeah. I get it.
So we're coming down to the final days of Twitch. What do you see? Because I don't see AJ and I don't see Paige folding up shop and giving it over to Vince, bro. I don't see that happening. Or Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the fallout from that's going to be? Think he's going to make an example and fire somebody? Paige, I would say.
Yeah, that'd be an easy go-to because she's not relevant to TV right now.
Right.
Xavier Woods would cause a big shitstorm, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he can because that would fuck with their video game money too big.
Yeah.
And they're pushing that game right now and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of money on the table.
Yeah. And big news for Russo brand this week. Russo had a meeting with the head of Twitch, some of the top people, and starting Wednesday afternoons, we're going to be on the front page of Twitch on Russo's brand. So we're looking at like, that's like 10,000 people watching, possibly. So if you're going to be a loyalist, join us on Wednesday afternoon. Stevie and I will be over there this week, I think, with them, being able to promote Hamin Media Group and everything, but just a huge opportunity to really do growth. And we talked about, well, there's plenty of people on the roster doing growth right now, but growth as far as our community and getting things over. So join us this Wednesday for Russo's brand special on Twitch in the afternoon. You guys will have more information coming your way on that as well. I think the fallout from this, them trying to cut them down instead of doing a deal with WWE and Twitch together, like that's a way better marketing ploy than fuck you, it's mine. But here we are in cleaning the chicken coop video, and right away does she say her name is Liv Morgan? It's some fucking Middle European name, and I didn't even know it, and now I don't think of her as Liv Morgan fully before we even got to the rest of the stuff. I don't care about my celebrity.
Yeah. It's a shame because it could have been a great business opportunity for WWE, and instead it's not.
I mean,
but their losses, others gain, and I'm glad to hear Vince Russo is getting the chance to have a bigger platform on Twitch, and like I said, one person's loss is another person's gain. So if anything, I'm happy for Vince and you guys to have that platform.
If I was Khan, I'd be right in there trying to get a deal done with Twitch.
Yeah,
specifically for him, just as a fuck you. I mean, it just shows how outdated WWE's got its audience, and I understand people blowing off their character and whatnot, but the answer is not shutting them down. It's about incorporating Twitch and YouTube into storylines in a way that supports it in a 360 effort while people keep kayfabe, not I'm this person over here. I'm Lexi Kaufman over here talking about Murphy and Aaliyah, but meanwhile I'm completely MK Ultra and under Bray's shit over here as well. So don't believe, but like, here's me too. And don't believe that, because that's not really me, but this is me. And that's fine. Like, that shit has to end. I don't have a problem with Vince being hot about that stuff, but it's when you're trying to do, I'm sexy and in the Riot Squad and I'm whatever,
There's lots of poop in here, unfortunately for me. Earlier, when I said I'm just doing a coop maintenance versus a deep clean, what I mean by that is instead of shoveling out all of this bedding and power washing all the surface area, which I can do because we specifically painted this with oil-based paint so it can be pressure washed. So instead of
there's only one thing I will put over. There's only one thing. She's out there chopping wood, carrying water.
There you go.
Fucking work. That's about it, bro. That will take her farther than whatever bullshit these videos are. You're out there cleaning up the fucking coop and chicken shit. It's not a fun job. I get it. But dude,
someone said you should clip out
hot girl now on fucking Raw, and all I can think about is oil-based paints while you're pressure spraying the chicken shit out of the fucking corner. That's what's in that.
Someone did say in the chat, you should at least clip out the first part where she says, there's a lot of poop in here. We could use that a lot. Anytime we review a certain show, here we go. There's a lot of poop in here.
There's a lot in here.
We're going to cover it all. Probably going to get covered in it.
Yeah, we're covered head to toe in shit this Monday's beast. I'm not always happy to be a hardcore Hamin, man, but out of the gate from the 49ers last night, I went to bed angry. So it was doomed from the get-go this morning with any dumb bullshit headlines. And if we were bing, 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 and I apologize, I usually don't hear it on my end, so hopefully it doesn't come through in the recording. But 40 strong here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, and on YouTube, numbers just keep going up. And that's because you guys sharing our content, being loyalists, escaping the mainstream media madness, only to come over here and listen to 20-something divas clean chicken shit. I know it's gripping content, but it's got to be put out there to expose what they're doing to our business. and why people can't get over. It's because of things like this, exactly because of it. And until somebody really puts a stop to it or smartens them up how to do it the right way, the locker room will be here to be that voice, dissenting, angry, positive, inspirational, whatever it needs to be to get the best out of performers and make sure everybody's life, from our viewers, our co-hosts, and our listeners, and the talent who actually want to take some real criticism because they obviously can't see what they're doing to themselves inside of the bubble. That's what we're here for at Hamin Media Group, and that's why we got something special, man. And it was a special bow tie day today, the red foulard bow tie, looking stellar, making us raise all of our acumens to gentleman level where we're not getting drunk and playing grab ass on New Year's Eve, or maybe you are. And if you do, lay out. That's my that's my advice to you. Don't talk about it. Beast, we're going to talk about some other stuff though this week. We got the NXT Next Level back in action. I'm sure we'll have a lot of TakeOver 31 notes off of that. The Halloween Havok special coming up, 2 women coming back around, and the Impact Attack as well this week, man. So we got a full boat. I'm looking forward to doing more shows with you. What else you got going down, brother?
Well, of course, making my old lady squat. We're, as I implied earlier, we're working towards our first wrestling promotion show in January. So planning that out, making some phone calls, and of course, going to get that podcast out to K-Bob. As soon as K-Bob approves it, I'll post it up. I just have a couple small edits to make, and then it'll be in your email mailbox, K-Bob. Other than that, just and if you could tell, my house is a mess right now. We're redoing the floor, so hopefully by next week we'll have all that finished. And yeah, so good times, but can't complain, man. Doing the grind.
I did this morning in a mousetrap, so I feel like I've done one decent thing to start off hunting season. All right. So I'm anxious to get out in the woods with a gun and make things go boom, because we've been in the studio for a while, and you're always welcome to come on up to get away. I know Stevie's anxious to learn more about hunting, and he may be coming up here in a couple of weeks, do some Hunter Hamin shows next month. It'll be, good exclusives, a lot of special things we have planned for Hamin Media Group affiliate channel. So if you haven't followed over at YouTube, Beast is doing great work over there with the thumbnails and exclusive little pieces. I heard there may be some other hot interviews coming up, so don't miss out on anything, you guys. Make sure you get all the notifications from us. And you're here, you're the diehards, you know what's going on with the Monday Locker Room. Anxious to hear Strangler Steve's and Billy Ray's take on Wednesday as well. It was a great switch up September. I want to thank everybody who enjoyed all of those different pairings that we had, different tag teams across the board, everybody being pretty flexible that way. So Tuttle says, hey, Dr. Gimmish, question for you. My wife drinks 3 liters of whiskey a month. Do you think that's too much?
Well, everything in moderation. So if you're going to drink 3 liters of whiskey, as long as you spread it out, then there you go.
She cut it back from 5. That was the other part. So she's already down.
And I should probably mention, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I am not a medical doctor, nor am I a dietitian. So I really have no authority to tell you, but everything in moderation is the key.
I am a doctor of both of those things. And I said, Planet X is coming, and we're coming for you, brother. No, here on the Monday Locker Room, guys, keep it locked here. Hamin Media Group, you know exactly where you're supposed to be.
You are my tribal chief,
and I will be for the rest of the week. So we'll be watching Raw tonight and reviewing it tomorrow. We'll be back for the Impact Attack watch along on Tuesday night, and then all your Wednesday shows from Russo Brand and the Conspiracy Horsemen, leading right into your locker rooms, you guys. We appreciate you following along through all this madness. Go watch the leaves turn, rake them up, burn them up, whatever you got to do. We're going to be here live, hackerhamin.podbean.com all week long. Y'all keep it locked, infidels. It's your Monday Locker Room. Angry as ever.